Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. on the dot here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I'm actually even earlier than usual because I'm so excited. This is a special day for me. Today is the 17th anniversary of me being clean and completely 100% clean and sober since October 23rd of 2006. And I feel like I have to say this. There was one when I had a hip replacement. Of course, I had to be put under anesthesia and everything, and I was prescribed painkillers for I think it was about a week after I got out of the hospital. Other than that, I've been 100%. I actually threw away. I actually didn't even take those pills. I threw those away. I've done videos talking about this, but I felt the need to put that little asterisk in there. But I've been 100% clean and sober since October 23rd of 2006, 17 years. And I came up with an interesting way to kind of celebrate. I could sit here and just go through the same story again. I will do that later, maybe later today or maybe tomorrow. I'll go through the whole story for people that have been through recovery themselves or in recovery or want to be in recovery. I'll go through the basic story with you guys. But I came up with an interesting story. I came up with a couple videos. I'm going to do two back-to-back videos instead of doing one long one. They're actually connected. And the second one, I've been wanting to do a video about Buckcherry, the band Buckcherry, and the lead singer Josh Todd. I've been wanting to do a video talk about him for a while now. But I have somebody else. That's the second video. I'm going to do them back to back this morning. I'm going to download them right at the same time too, so they'll both pop up on my channel this morning by 5 a.m. Okay, the first video. This is a story I came across yesterday, and it's about a woman that suffers from an eating disorder, from anorexia. And I've told you guys before that I was in and out of detoxes and rehabs, mostly detoxes. You go to the detox first for 5 to 7, maybe more days to get everything out of your system and kind of get normalized. And then you'll go to a 30, 60, 90, 6-month, 1 year rehabilitation program. And I could count at least 13 that I was in and out of. Well, I was in these were called dual diagnosis, and usually they were in hospitals. And dual diagnosis means psychiatric issues, mental disorders like anorexia or depression or bipolar, and addiction or alcoholism. And I was diagnosed as dual diagnosis, as both. So I had a lot of experience with being around. I have no schooling or anything like that in psychology or anorexia or MD or being an MD or anything like that. But I've been around. I basically lived with people that were suffering from bipolar and anorexia. I basically lived with them for anywhere from a week to a month at times. And so I kind of got familiar with their situations. The first story, the link's down below. This is a story from TMZ. I've never heard of this woman before. She's a 29-year-old woman. And as soon as I saw her, it just breaks my heart. And I got a few. I'm not picking on her. I don't want to say that, but I have an issue with. She's got a YouTube channel. She's a famous YouTuber with over 2 million subscribers. And on TikTok, she's got 2.5 million followers. And I got to speak up because I kind of have a concern. I'll just leave it like that. So her name is Eugenia Cooney, and there's an article in yesterday's TMZ about how she's losing weight. She's becoming more frail, and her weight is getting lower and lower. If you see a picture, I'll use a picture on the thumbnail. And I got to be totally honest. I really wonder how Eugenia is still alive. I don't know how else to say this. I can only guess. I'm like I said, I have no background in being a doctor or anything like that. But I'd have to guess she's about 60 or 70 pounds. Okay, so Eugenia Cooney, she lives in Greenwich, Connecticut, not too far from here actually. Here's an interesting thing I remembered this morning. I used to deliver to Greenwich, Connecticut. First, I was an architect before my addiction really got bad. I was an architectural draftsman, and I did jobs down in Greenwich. Then, after my addiction started getting bad, I started driving a truck, and I would deliver. I was a paperback salesman, and then I got fired from that I came up positive for cocaine on a drug test. And I ended up driving a truck for hardwood flooring. And I would deliver, I got all 3 jobs I delivered to, I went down to Greenwich, Connecticut. And I just realized this morning how the jobs got more and more physically demanding. You know, as I kept losing the jobs, I kind of, the pay and the job level, the career level was going down and down and down. I just realized that this morning, actually. So she lives in Greenwich, Connecticut, and her followers are very concerned. The latest video, I'll put the link down below, and I'll put the links to her TikTok and her YouTube. And here's the reason I'm concerned. As soon as I saw this, it reminded me of videos and music that I used to listen to. My concern here is that other people suffering from eating disorders, or potentially are on the verge or on the border of suffering from eating disorders, or potentially are suffering from eating disorders, are going to look at her and they're going to see her making videos and all the followers. They're going to see her as successful and happy, and and they'll try to emulate her. And that's the concern I have about this. I know this is the United States, and people are free to, I'm not saying that she should be banned or taken off TikTok or YouTube, but I am concerned that I was reading the comments on her YouTube channel, and a lot of people are concerned about her. Most of the comments were people very concerned about her, saying she's a very nice girl and she should do something about this. There are people saying that they've gone through this stuff too, but this is my concern. I used to listen to particular songs and music back when I was using. There was a bunch of songs that I would listen to that I used every day, cocaine and heroin. And especially with the cocaine, there was one song, it was called Lit Up by Buck Cherry. And I can remember right now, time and time again, where I would go get my supply, my substance that I was going to use, and I'd be back at my house or my apartment with my friends, and I start singing this song. And I remember 2 sisters that I was partying with, and I used to think I sing terribly. This is one of the things I do the worst, and I know that now. But back then, I used to think I could sing this song perfectly. Like, there's a part in the middle where he kind of talks, and he goes, "Chop a line for the fiended man because he wants one, the curious girl." And I used to sing that. And the girls, these 2 sisters, like, "Oh my God, you do that perfectly." And now I look back and I realize what a bunch of bull that was. You know, it's just part of using. You know, the person you think you are and how you're coming across to others is just all in your head, really, when you're using. But this particular song, and I'll put the link to the video down below, and I'm comparing this to Eugenia Cooney, because I used to watch this video. And in this video, the lead singer, Josh Todd, is bouncing up and down. The video is phenomenal. And there's women swaying in the video, you know, it's sexy. And the guys, and Josh Todd is dancing and bouncing up on one foot and the other foot. And he's got this good rhythm, and the guitar is just wailing. And I just wanted to be part of that. You know, I love that song. And I would sing it every time I used, I'd crank it up every time I used. And it gave me this vision in my head of a false idea, I was lying to myself. I would see that, I'd hear the song. And in this song, he says, "I love that drug. I love that drug." I don't want to say it here, actually. And, I used to watch this, and I feel like there's probably people with eating disorders and anorexia that will watch Eugenia Cooney, and they'll use that as justification for their lives. And I don't know how to resolve this. I don't want to tell YouTube or TikTok to ban somebody because they have an eating disorder, because they're suffering from a mental disorder or an eating disorder, anything like that. But at the same time, I almost feel like there should be, if you put a warning on these, it wouldn't do any good either. If somebody put a warning on that lit up video, danger, this is dangerous to your health, I would have just been, yeah, great. It wouldn't have changed anything. So I really don't have an answer for this, but that's what concerned me when I watched the Eugenia Cooney videos. And this is the first time I ever watched them this morning. And it's hard to watch. It is. You could actually, the woman is nothing but skin and bones. You know, I can't imagine, I mean, I hate to say it, I don't want to say it, but I can't imagine how much longer this woman has if she continues. There's pictures back when she first got on YouTube about 10 or 15 years ago, and you can see the progress of this disease, and it's alarming. And like I said, it reminds me of me watching that lit up video. Now this is where I'm going to stop this video. The second video, I was wrong about that Buck Cherry video, and I just found that out recently. Josh Todd is clean and sober, the singer for Buck Cherry. Not only is he clean and sober, but he was clean and sober when he did that song. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. And that's been an inspiration for me. He's become a renewed mentor for me now in sobriety. I'm going to talk about that in the next video. You guys stay tuned.